What if I told you one of Hollywood's longest-lasting marriages, 18 years of red carpets, anniversaries, and love songs, just crashed and burned in a way nobody saw coming? Nicole Kidman secured a $3.5 million Nashville mansion, while Keith Urban packed up and walked away for good. At first glance, it might sound like just another celebrity split, but trust me, the truth goes way deeper. And just so we're clear, this isn't gossip or wild speculation. The divorce is official. According to People, Nicole Kidman filed in Nashville on September 30, 2025, after nearly 19 years of marriage. That filing officially closed the chapter on what many people believed was Hollywood's most rock-solid love story. Because this isn't just a romance falling apart, it's the breakup of a $282 million empire, packed with jaw-dropping prenup clauses, custody battles, and whispers of secrets fans never saw coming. Behind the polished smiles and picture-perfect moments, cracks had been forming for years. Now those cracks have blown wide open for the whole world to see. Nicole walked away with control, stability, and the family home. Keith, the guy who once sang about forever, is now living out of a downtown penthouse. So how did things go this sideways? Stick around, because by the end of this story, you'll understand why this isn't just another celebrity breakup. It's one of the biggest Hollywood power shifts of the decade. And if stories like this are your thing, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next major reveal. The glamorous illusion. For nearly 2 decades, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban looked like the couple that had somehow cracked Hollywood's impossible code, a marriage that could survive fame, fortune, and the non-stop pressure of living under a microscope. Every time they stepped onto a red carpet, it wasn't just an appearance, it was a show of unity. Nicole looked elegant and flawless, gliding across events in designer gowns. Keith was charming, relaxed, and always close by, holding her hand or whispering something that made her smile. To fans, they looked like the definition of stability in an industry famous for chaos. Their social media only added to the fantasy. Heartfelt anniversary tributes. Family holiday photos. Keith serenading Nicole on stage while crowds went wild. They became the kind of couple magazines loved to showcase whenever they wanted proof that real love could actually survive in Hollywood. People admired them not only for their careers, but for what seemed like an unbreakable connection. But here's the thing, Hollywood is great at selling an image. And images don't always tell the whole story. Behind those flawless snapshots, cracks were quietly spreading. Nicole was buried in back-to-back film projects, flying around the world for months at a time. Keith was just as busy, bouncing between cities on world tours, living out of hotel rooms, and chasing the rush of sold-out arenas. 4 years, their lives moved in completely different lanes, crossing paths only when schedules lined up. At first, that distance seemed manageable, 2 ambitious stars making room for each other's careers. But little by little, that balance turned into disconnection. Time apart stopped feeling temporary and started feeling normal. Friends close to the couple reportedly noticed it long before the public did. The laughter people saw on red carpets wasn't echoing behind closed doors anymore. And while fans were still melting over anniversary posts, the foundation of the marriage was quietly falling apart. Mansion and custody power move. When the divorce filings became public, one detail instantly stole the spotlight. Nicole Kidman would remain in the couple's $3.5 million Nashville mansion, while Keith Urban moved out. At first, it looked like a standard property division in a high-profile split. But according to TMZ and My San Antonio, this wasn't really about real estate. It was about strategy. It was about custody. And it was about control. As SF Gate reported, Nicole's divorce petition specifically requested that she remain in the Nashville home and be named the primary custodian of their daughters. That filing confirmed what many fans were already thinking. This wasn't just about keeping a house. It was a major power move. The mansion wasn't simply another luxury property. It was the heart of their family life. Birthdays happened there. Christmas mornings unfolded there. Their daughters, Sunday Rose and Faith Margaret, grew up there. By securing the right to stay, Nicole wasn't just protecting memories, she was making the strongest legal move of the entire divorce. Court documents confirm she received primary custody, with the girls living with her for 306 days each year, while Keith was granted 59 days. Think about that for a second. The Nashville mansion isn't just a symbol of wealth. It's the legal center of stability for their children. Nicole made it clear she wanted her daughters waking up in the same bedrooms, attending the same schools, and staying in the same neighborhood, even as their family life changed forever. In her view, consistency was the one thing she could still guarantee during such an emotional shakeup. Meanwhile, Keith has reportedly been staying in a sleek downtown penthouse. Comfortable? Sure. But it doesn't carry the same meaning as the family home. For many fans, the contrast felt brutal. The mother remained at the center of family life. The father suddenly seemed on the outside looking in. And in Hollywood, optics matter. Nicole's choice to stay wasn't about sentiment. It was about sending a message. This wasn't just her house. It was her fortress. Keith walks out. While Nicole Kidman stayed in the $3.5 million Nashville mansion with their daughters, Keith Urban was photographed moving into a stylish penthouse in downtown Nashville. For a man who built an entire career singing about lasting love, the image hit fans hard. The country superstar known for emotional ballads and promises of devotion suddenly looked like a guy without a home base. For people who had followed their journey for almost 20 years, it felt unreal. Keith had always spoken openly about his love for Nicole, often saying she changed his life and helped keep him grounded. Now the script had flipped. He was the one on the outside, while Nicole solidified her position as the stable parent and homeowner. For many fans, this contrast became one of the most heartbreaking parts of the split. Online conversations quickly labeled it Hollywood's quiet heartbreak. There were no explosive scandals. No messy public meltdowns. Just a slow and silent unraveling where the details spoke louder than any headline. A mansion full of memories on one side. A temporary high-rise on the other. Nicole focusing on stability for the children. Keith continuing the rhythm of life on the road. And somehow, that quiet separation carried more weight than any public scandal ever could. It suggested their love story didn't end in chaos. It ended in distance. Years of distance. Tours that lasted too long. Film shoots that kept them apart. And silence that eventually became louder than the music or the cameras. In the end, Keith walking out wasn't just a physical move. It was the final symbol of a divide that had been growing for years. And people everywhere couldn't stop wondering. Was this heartbreak inevitable? Financial empire at stake. Behind the emotional fallout of Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's split sits a financial empire most couples could only dream about. Together, their combined net worth is estimated at nearly $282 million. And what makes that figure even crazier is how unevenly that wealth is divided, and how much that imbalance shaped the divorce. Their real estate portfolio alone is reportedly worth more than $56 million. The Nashville mansion Nicole fought to keep may be the crown jewel, but it's only one piece of a massive collection. They also own a luxury apartment in Manhattan, a farmhouse in Keith's native Australia, and additional properties in Los Angeles and Sydney. Each property reflects their globe-trotting lifestyle. Together, they form a real estate empire most Hollywood insiders would envy. But when it comes to personal wealth, Nicole clearly holds the upper hand. Reports estimate Nicole's net worth at around $250 million. Keith's is estimated closer to $75 million. That difference isn't just a number. It's leverage. Nicole's career has been powered by consistent film roles, award-winning performances, and lucrative endorsement deals. She also runs her own production company, giving her influence both behind and in front of the camera. Keith has built an incredibly successful career as a touring artist, but his income stream has often been less predictable. Tours generate huge paychecks. But they also require constant travel and sacrifice stability. And that difference mattered. Both in court and in public perception, Nicole's financial position gave her a serious advantage. Because in Hollywood divorces, it's rarely about who loved harder. It's about who can afford to leave stronger. And in this situation, Nicole's empire gave her that edge. The cocaine clause. Just when fans thought this divorce couldn't get any crazier, an old rumor came roaring back into the spotlight, the so-called cocaine clause. Originally reported years ago and recently highlighted again by outlets including Yahoo UK, the unusual provision in their prenuptial agreement has become a hot topic once more. When Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban married in 2006, Keith's struggles with substance use were already public knowledge. Nicole reportedly wanted protection for both her family and her fortune. As a result, reports claimed the prenup included a clause connecting Keith's sobriety to his financial future. The arrangement was simple, but ruthless. If Keith relapsed, Nicole could walk away with her assets protected. If he remained sober, he would receive a payout of $600,000 for every year of marriage. After 18 years, that figure reportedly adds up to nearly $12 million. Money Keith is now said to be entitled to as the marriage comes to an end. Some fans viewed the clause as harsh. Others called it smart planning. Either way, it exposed a reality many people forget. Even Hollywood's most glamorous love stories often come with business contracts attached. For outsiders, the clause changes how the marriage is viewed. Was it purely a love story built on trust and loyalty? Or was it also a carefully calculated partnership designed to protect enormous fortunes? Some observers have argued the prenup reflected the deeper tension between Keith's unpredictable touring lifestyle and Nicole's constant search for stability. While Keith may have left the mansion behind, the payout means he didn't walk away empty-handed. It's a detail fans can't stop talking about because it perfectly captures the razor-thin line between romance and negotiation in celebrity marriages. And for Nicole and Keith, the cocaine clause has become more than a rumor. It has become part of their legacy. A reminder that in Hollywood, love and business are often tangled together. Quick reminder. If you've made it this far, smash that subscribe button, because what's coming next could completely change the way you see this marriage. Hidden tensions. Long before the divorce papers were signed, signs of trouble had already started surfacing. Sources close to Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban claimed Keith had become increasingly frustrated living in the shadow of his wife's enormous success. One blunt remark reportedly summed it up perfectly. Keith was tired of being Mr. Kidman. For a man whose identity was built on stadium tours and chart-topping country hits, feeling overshadowed became a frustration that quietly grew over time. Meanwhile, Nicole's career showed absolutely no signs of slowing down. With non-stop film projects and international commitments, her name continued dominating red carpets, award shows, and headlines. Keith, constantly traveling for tours, found himself drifting further away. What once felt like a workable balance between two powerhouse careers gradually turned into a source of tension. Instead of moving forward together, their lives started running side by side. Parallel, separate, and increasingly disconnected. Fans started taking a second look at the couple's carefully crafted image. One moment, in particular, really caught people's attention: Nicole's last anniversary post on Instagram. At first glance, it looked sweet, smiles, affection, and the kind of caption that practically screamed forever. But looking back now, some fans say the smile looked forced and her eyes seemed tired. To them, it wasn't a celebration anymore. It felt like a show, a way to keep up appearances while the marriage was quietly falling apart behind the scenes. This growing distance didn't happen overnight. It came from years of missed moments, hotel rooms instead of family dinners, and red carpets instead of peaceful nights at home. What fans saw as glamorous achievements were actually milestones of absence, time spent apart that no picture could hide. The perfect love image was starting to crack, and underneath it, both Nicole and Keith were living a reality that looked nothing like the headlines. Rumors and a new woman. As the marriage continued to crumble, whispers about a new chapter in Keith Urban's life started making the rounds, one Nicole Kidman supposedly wasn't part of. According to TMZ, hints surfaced about a mysterious new connection somewhere in Keith's circle. No names were ever officially confirmed, but that alone was enough to send speculation into overdrive. Fans who had long viewed the couple as a symbol of lasting love felt blindsided by the possibility that another woman could be involved. Message boards and social media exploded with theories. People started piecing together timelines, comparing Keith's touring schedule with Nicole's filming dates, hunting for clues that might reveal a hidden story. Every concert photo, every backstage sighting suddenly became part of a giant mystery. The frustrating thing? Nothing concrete ever surfaced. No photos of Keith with someone new. No official confirmation. No public statement from either side. Yet somehow, the silence made the rumors even louder. Fans began asking themselves, was this mysterious person the final straw that made Nicole think, I can't fake this anymore? Or was the marriage already too broken for anyone to fix? In Hollywood, a lack of proof rarely stops curiosity. If anything, it fuels it. Tabloids thrive on speculation, and in this case, the uncertainty kept everyone hooked. Whether another woman was actually involved or not, the rumor became part of the story, casting a shadow over Keith's role in the breakup. For Nicole, the whispers added another layer of hurt. For Keith, they became yet another question mark in a divorce already packed with unanswered questions. And for fans, it was a reminder that even the most picture-perfect love stories can hide secrets nobody sees coming. Image shift. As the dust settled after the divorce, something surprising happened. Nicole Kidman's public image didn't fall apart under the weight of the scandal, it evolved. Instead of being labeled cold or distant, she emerged as a strong, composed woman who had finally drawn a line in the sand. Headlines praised her resilience, while fans described her as the definition of quiet strength. To many people, she wasn't the woman who got left behind, she was the woman who chose peace over pretending. Keith Urban, on the other hand, found himself facing a very different narrative. The man once celebrated for his devotion and romance was suddenly being portrayed as restless and frustrated. Reports focused on his discomfort with being known as Mr. Kidman, a label that seemed to hit at the heart of his identity. His image started shifting from loving husband to overshadowed star, a guy struggling to find his place in the shadow of his wife's unstoppable success. Public opinion split right down the middle. Some people saw Keith as a victim of neglect, worn down by constant separation and the imbalance of fame. Others believed he drifted away by choice, distracted by life on the road, the spotlight, and maybe even temptations Nicole could no longer ignore. What made this image shift so powerful was how subtle it all felt. There were no explosive arguments, no messy press conferences, just two carefully built narratives unfolding side by side. Nicole looked as steady as ever, while Keith seemed caught in a slow, quiet unraveling. For fans, the big question became nearly impossible to answer. Did Keith walk away from the marriage, or did Nicole's strength quietly push him out? The truth may never fully come out, but one thing is clear, the way people see them has changed forever. And in Hollywood, image is everything. Symbolism of the mansion. The $3.5 million Nashville mansion that once symbolized Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's shared dream now carries a completely different meaning. These are the same rooms where their daughters celebrated birthdays, where family photos decorated the walls, and where laughter once echoed through the halls. But after the split, Nicole reclaimed the house not as a reminder of what she lost, but as proof of what she survived. Instead of running from the memories, she chose to stay in the very place where cracks in the marriage first began to show. That's a bold move. It sends a clear message that she refuses to let the collapse of her relationship define her. The mansion, once filled with reminders of shared love, now stands as a symbol of independence and stability. For Nicole, keeping the home wasn't about holding on to the past. It was about giving her daughters consistency. Same bedrooms. Same schools. Same neighborhood. During a time filled with uncertainty, she turned the house into a safe haven. Fans have definitely noticed the transformation. Many online are calling this Nicole's post-divorce glow-up era. Instead of looking broken, she seems more grounded than ever. With new film projects moving forward, fresh endorsement deals, and critical praise continuing after Expats, her career appears untouched by the personal chaos happening in the background. Meanwhile, Keith has reportedly been seen living in a downtown penthouse, a world away from the warmth of the family home. To some observers, the contrast is hard to ignore. Nicole looks rooted and steady, while Keith seems adrift, still searching for solid ground. The mansion has become more than just property. It's the emotional center of the story, a reminder that resilience can be built in the very place where heartbreak once lived. Emotional fallout. For all the legal paperwork, real estate decisions, and financial negotiations, the most painful part of Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's split can't be measured in dollars. It's measured in the silence left behind. According to People magazine, sources close to Nicole claim she admitted feeling as though she had lost her best friend. That confession hit fans hard. This wasn't just a marriage ending, It was the unraveling of a partnership that had shaped both of their lives for nearly 20 years. Keith, too, has shown subtle signs that the breakup left scars. Recently spotted without his wedding ring, he looked less like a polished country superstar and more like a man carrying a heavy emotional load. For someone so closely associated with romance and devotion, the missing ring spoke volumes. It became a quiet signal that even he was letting go of an image he had spent years protecting. Fans remain deeply divided. Some sympathize with Keith, believing he was pushed aside by a career imbalance that left him overshadowed. Others stand firmly behind Nicole, praising her resilience and her commitment to putting stability for her daughters first. Social media debates keep raging, with each side piecing together bits and pieces of information to support their version of the story. But the reality is rarely that simple. In most marriages, celebrity or otherwise, the blame rarely falls entirely on one person. Distance, ambition, and silence can slowly wear down even the strongest relationships. For Nicole and Keith, the emotional fallout lingers not through explosive arguments, but through quiet heartbreaks, the kind that leave people wondering how something so beautiful unraveled so quietly. Hollywood illusion versus reality. In the months leading up to the divorce, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban still looked like the ultimate power couple. They attended premieres together, smiled for cameras, and spoke warmly about each other during interviews. To the public, everything seemed perfectly fine. But according to insiders, much of that final year may have been exactly that, a performance. Behind closed doors, the cracks were getting bigger. Nicole was juggling demanding film schedules, while Keith was constantly on the road, his touring lifestyle pulling him further and further from home. The moments fans saw on red carpets were often just brief pauses in a relationship that was already falling apart. What looked like unity was, in reality, a carefully maintained illusion designed to protect their daughters, their careers, and maybe even themselves. This story isn't unique to Nicole and Keith. It's part of Hollywood culture. Fame often pressures couples to maintain a flawless image long after the reality has changed. Smiles become armor. Public appearances become performances. And genuine intimacy gets replaced by strategy. For Nicole and Keith, the final chapter of their marriage wasn't filled with dramatic confrontations. It unfolded in silence, the kind of silence that says everything once the cameras stop rolling. The divorce filings pulled back the curtain and exposed a reality fans never saw coming. What once appeared to be one of Hollywood's strongest relationships turned out to be just as fragile as any other. The split didn't simply end a marriage. It shattered the illusion that fame, money, and success can somehow protect love from life's quiet cracks. The final word. At the end of the day, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's story isn't just about a Hollywood marriage that fell apart. It's about what happens when love, ambition, and fame collide. Nicole may have lost a partner, but she gained something equally powerful: control over her own story. Her words, "I can't pretend anymore," weren't just aimed at Keith. They were a declaration to herself, her daughters, and maybe even the millions of people watching from the outside. The $3.5 million mansion she fought to keep is no longer just a house. It's a symbol of resilience, a reminder that she chose strength and stability over illusion. For Keith, the road ahead looks different. He'll keep touring, creating music, and maybe working through emotions in songs that words alone can't fully express. But the contrast between them is impossible to ignore. Nicole appears grounded and secure. Keith seems caught between stages, airports, and hotel rooms. For fans, the divorce still leaves more questions than answers. Was Keith pushed out by Nicole's unwavering strength? Or did he simply drift away, unable to reconcile his identity with hers? The truth probably lives somewhere in the gray area between those two possibilities. What we do know is this. In a world where celebrity relationships are often built on carefully managed appearances, this split serves as a reminder that even the brightest smiles can hide deep cracks. And honestly, that's what makes the story so relatable. Behind all the glitz, fame, and money, Nicole and Keith face the same struggles many couples deal with every day: distance, ambition, and that slow, painful silence that creeps in when two lives stop moving in the same direction. Nicole may have lost her marriage, but she moves forward with something money can't buy: the strength to own her story. And maybe that's her biggest win of all. So, what do you guys think? Did Nicole really come out on top, or did Keith walk away on his own terms? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next big Hollywood bombshell.